In today's age, the internet is the biggest it has been since its start. More and more people are building computers so that they can do something during the quarantine, and more people are joining online communities such as Twitch and Discord. While these communities are great because I am a part of them myself, there's a side that people don't see. The dark side of these communities involve an absurd amount of harassment, bullying, and hate speech. Today, I hope to persuade you to be cautious and aware of the dangers of the internet, also known as cyberbullying. On October 8th, 2020, pandasecurity.com stated 38% of people see instances of cyberbullying on social media daily. This should be significant to people because it's not just 38% of people seeing cyberbullying happen, but rather 38% of people see cyberbullying daily. First, I'll talk about how cyberbullying differs with different social media platforms. Then I'll talk about how cyberbullying can affect the victims. And finally, I will talk about the different ways that people can combat cyberbullying. Let's start with the different platforms. Social media is the biggest thing on the internet these days. The biggest platforms also tend to have larger attraction for cyberbullying. These platforms include Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. The arguably largest platform to date is Twitch, which is a platform for streaming anything from games to IRL or in real life. Timmy Scholzinger on Gettysburg.edu stated, with live streaming, parents should be cautious as the content isn't edited and anything could happen. Unfiltered language, inappropriate imagery, and more could be shown as there's no delay between what is happening live. With Twitch, streamers and viewers can interact with each other through a chat system, but this chat system posts immediately what someone types, so there is no delay between someone typing something inappropriate or harassment to when it is seen by other people. While there are people that moderate the chat system, there is a delay between when something is deemed bannable to when it is actually banned. So by the time someone posts something, the damage is already done. Instagram is one of the major social media platforms for the younger generations and is still prominent today. On October 10th, 2018, Taylor Lorenz said, according to recent Pew survey, 59% of teens have been bullied online, and according to a 2017 survey conducted by Ditch the Label, a nonprofit anti-bullying group, more than 1 in 5 12 to 20-year-olds experience bullying, specifically on Instagram. In the same article, Taylor Lorenz later said, but Instagram provides a unique, powerful set of tools to do so. The velocity and size of the distribution mechanism allows rude comments or harassing images to go viral within hours. So as you can see, the tools that Instagram provides makes it easy for cyberbullying to happen and have thousands of people witness it and maybe even hop on it too. Finally, Twitter. This social media platform might be the worst out of three due to its lack of filter. On August 12, 2016, Matt Campo of Trade Journal stated, we suck dealing with abuse and trolls on the platform and we've sucked at it for years, wrote the former CEO. This quote came directly from the former CEO of Twitter, and he admits that cyberbullying is taking over the Twitter platform. From personal use myself, there seems to be no filter for what is posted on Twitter. There can be harassing images, hate speech, and all of the sorts, and there seems to be no repercussion for the person who posted it due to its lack of filters. Now that we've covered some of the platforms where cyberbullying takes place, let's look at what the victims feel when they're going through this form of bullying. Cyberbullying or any form of bullying can push someone over the edge. The most dangerous feeling for cyberbullying victims is suicide. 2021, an article by Josephine Palmieri stated, text messaging isn't going away, bullying isn't going away, that combination killed my son. Bullying has always been like this. The victims are pushed so much emotionally and mentally to the point where they just can't take it anymore and they feel like the only escape option is suicide. Another feeling that correlates with suicide is isolation. April 25th of 2021, Sherry Golden stated, "Cyberbullying sometimes causes kids to be excluded and ostracized at school. Consequently, they often feel alone and isolated." Isolation is a pretty severe emotion for cyberbullying. When someone feels isolated, they feel like there's no one around to help them, and this can be dangerous because it correlates back to the first point, suicide. You feel like there's no one to help you, there's no one there for you, and that is the only option to escape. Another feeling that victims can feel is anger. Sherry Golding, in the same article, stated, "Many victims of cyberbullying will get angry about what is happening to them. In fact, research indicates that anger is the most common response to cyberbullying." Anger is a very reasonable response towards any form of bullying, especially cyberbullying. While it is a reasonable response, sometimes it can be dangerous because anger can lead to seeking revenge for the bullying that happened. On November 7th, 2019, Colleen Long stated, "Most students who committed deadly school attacks over the past decades were badly bullied." Now, these attacks include shootings too, and sadly to say that the reason behind it is bullying or maybe even cyberbullying because the victims are so angry and want revenge for what happened. Now that we know where cyberbullying takes place and how the victims feel about cyberbullying, let's move on to ways to prevent cyberbullying. While there are numerous ways to cyberbully someone, there are also workarounds that can help to prevent that cyberbullying from happening and potentially saving someone's life. There are a few ways to do it. The first important way is to establish a climate of communication. Paula Green from TeachThought states, "Every psychologist will tell you that one of the best ways to help your child or a student is by establishing a climate of trust and communication." While this also means telling the victim you're there for them and you're open to hearing what their situation is, it's a little bit more than that. It's more of openly communicating, maybe even on a daily basis, gathering a form of trust so that the victim may even want to open up to you before you even say it. Another great way of helping with cyberbullying is knowing the apps and platforms. Now, we already went over this in a previous statement, but Paula Green continues to state, "It's difficult to prevent cyberbullying if you don't understand how the apps work and the most likely ways that trolls and others can affect your child or student's well-being." So we went over the three biggest platforms out there, but it is great to know how these apps works, how the post works and the comments works, so that you know how to combat it in the future if you come across someone who is a victim of cyberbullying. The last great way to help is remembering the big idea. Why you are there to help someone that is a victim of cyberbullying. Paula Green's last statement in the same article states, "Remember that the ultimate goal is to protect and restore the victim's self-respect and empower them with the mindset, tools, and strategies to protect themselves online and offline in the future." So, today I hope that I persuaded you to think about the dangers and the internet and possibly even help someone who is a victim of cyberbullying. First, I informed you about the different platforms that it happens on. Then I informed you how the victims feel about cyberbullying. And lastly, I informed you of how to help those who have been victimized. Through all this, since we live in an environment of quarantine and the combination of technology and the internet being there for everyone, I hope that this information I gave you will help not only you, but others who feel victimized by cyberbullying. Thank you.